بيكم أعزائي طلبة وطالبات الصف الثالث الإعدادي في حلقة جديدة من حلقات مادة الساينس تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. First, البروبلمز بالنسبة لنا it's not that part اللي هو بيبقى صعب علينا، بس you have to read the problem very well and then start to answer. Let's see كده شوية problems and we are going to solve it together. Okay, let's start the first problem here. Before solving problem, I said before you have to read it very well. A car moves in a straight line and its speed recorded with 30 seconds. Then it moves represented by graphically as shown in the opposite figure. From the graph extracted to the needed formation of to complete. So let's see the graph. What is the graph? Here I have a graph to represent this problem. I have to analyze. We said before, in graphical relation we have to analyze it first. هنا مديني شوية table and with a certain kind of questions, and then I'm going to solve it. How? By analyzing this graph. First of all, he asked me the phases of the car movement in phase AB, phase BC, phase CD. يعني إيه الكلام ده؟ And I have phases. This is the first phase AB and BC and the phase CD, and he's going to ask me on those phases some kind of questions. He started with how can you calculate the initial speed in the phase AB. First, I have to know what's meant by initial speed, يعني starting speed, the speed that started my car with. In the phase AB, يعني أنا بدأت من هنا. So, the initial speed here is what? Of course, it's 0. The initial speed will be 0. Let's see the answer. Yes, of course, it's 0. In phase CD, in this CD. طب let's analyze كده. AB, I'm moving with speed من A to B, and then from B to C. I know that you know that from B to C أنا وقفت الcar stop moving, and then from C to D the car start to move. So where is the initial speed in this case? This is my initial speed. How can I calculate it? Look to the graph here between 20 and 30. I said that you have to analyze the graph. يبقى هنا أنا عندي 25. Okay? So the speed here will be 25. Let's see. The initial speed, sure, it's 25 meter per second. How can I got it? From the graph. من الجراف بصيت. This is the initial speed of the second phase اللي أنا همشي فيها. So its speed is 25, the initial speed. Another question, the value of acceleration. He gave me here the value of acceleration in the phase AB. يعني كمية الأكسلريشن. طب how can he got the acceleration? By dividing speed over time. 2.5 هو مديهالي. طب in phase BC إيه الأكسلريشن here؟ أنا ماشية بأي acceleration? No acceleration. So the answer of course is 0 acceleration. أنا واقفة. ما فيش acceleration خالص، مثبتة السرعة، مش واقفة، مثبتة السرعة. So here there is 0 acceleration. طب what about the acceleration in phase CD? C here the initial speed I said 25. And the final speed here is how many? 0. يبقى the final speed is 0 minus the initial speed which is 25 divided by a time. طب فاضل لي التايم. Which time? The time that I took it here. So the time which is taken من المسافة دي للمسافة دي قد إيه؟ Let's see here the calculation together. So the answer is 0 minus 25 divided by 30, which is the final time, and 25 is the initial time. يعني أنا واقفة في المسافة التايم مش 20 لا 25. يبقى 30 minus 25 is the time. So here I can calculate it, which is minus 5 meter per second square, which is which type of acceleration? Negative acceleration. It's very new type of question for us, but we have to know it carefully. نكمل. The same جراف طالب مني question تاني بيقول لي in describe the movement. Description of the movement I said احنا بنتعلم من الجراف to analyze the graph. طب how can I describe the movement in phase AB؟ الكار ماشية from A to B. Can you know now? Yes, easy. It's moving by positive acceleration. بزود السرعة. بدأت بزيرو and then 10 and 20 and so on. So I'm moving with positive acceleration. طب what about the phase B, C? Can describe your movement? Yes, of course. What's my movement here? I said that zero acceleration. مش بعمل أي تغير في السبيد بتاعتي with zero acceleration, and he give me this answer from C to D, the car moving with negative acceleration. ببطأ في السرعة بتاعتي. Let's move to next type of problems. Here, compare between a train cover 72 kilometers in hour and a car move with 30 meters in second. Here the difference that meter in second and kilometer in hour. I said before هو بيقول لي compare. Can I compare two speed with different units مختلفين? No, of course not. So I have to change one of them to another one, so I can easily compare between them. طب which type is easier? I can converge the first one from kilometer per hour to meter per second. I said you have to use the amount kilometer per hour time 5 over 18, which is a number that you have to memorize it very well. So the speed of the train is 20 meter per second, while the speed of the car is هو مديهالي هنا كام 30 meter per second. So can I compare between them? So the car is faster than the train. But after I convert, before that I can't compare any two phenomena or two physical quantities without converging the units as equal to each other. Next type. A person moved from starting point اللي هي 12 meter to the west. يعني ماشي هنا 12 meter to the west. And then he returned in the same path 8 meter to the east. رجع المسافة دي رجع منها 8 meter to the east. He wants what from me? هنشوف كده طالب مني ايه؟ طالب مني the distance covered by the object from the starting point. Here he wants distance من ال starting point, من المسافة اللي بدأها من بدايته لغاية الوست، وبعد كده رجع 8 meter to the east. I said before the distance بعمل calculation للamount of distance اللي هو مشيها سواء في الوست أو الإيست. So here the answer is 12 plus 8 which is 20 centimeter المسافة اللي مشيها في الحالتين. طب if he wants from me to calculate the displacement إيه الفرق؟ أنا مشيت 12 meter to the west and then I returned أو رجعت to the east 8 سنتيمتر، يبقى أنا اتزحت أو displacement I said before in Arabic معناها الإزاحة، اتحركت قد إيه من المسافة أو من مكاني. يبقى here sure I'm going to subtract 12 minus 8 equal, let's see the answer, equal 4 centimeter. So the distance is more than the displacement, of course, yes, because they are different. Next type of problem. Here, 3 cars, A, B, and C. Their motion are represented by the following graphs. Study the graphs, then answer. عندي 3 cars, كل واحدة ماشية بالشيب ده, and he's going to ask me many questions on this graphs. Analyze and pay attention. You have to analyze the graphs very well. First, he asked me, the speed of the car A equal قد إيه؟ أدي الكار A. أولاً I have to memorize. Here, الجراف between إيه؟ velocity and time. velocity and time يبقى إيه؟ هنشوف. التاني distance and time. هو دلوقتي بيسألني على جراف A. Let's memorize أول واحدة كده نشوف جراف A. The speed of the car A equals قد إيه؟ الكار A ماشية دي بسبيد قد إيه؟ velocity وتايم هنشوف كده. Yes, of course, it's 20. اللي وقفت عليها هي starting from 0 moving till reaching 20 يبقى ديت ال speed of the car A. طب what about the car B? Let's memorize. Here I said between velocity and time, but here between distance and time also speed. But the speed of this car is A. حد هيقول لي ما هم شكل بعض. No, of course not. Let's see. The speed of this car is 0. Here the car أو the body is at rest. واقفة، عربية واقفة. 0. Okay? طيب ليه؟ طيب عشان دي distance و time. إنما هنا كانت velocity و time، يعني بتكلم على حاجة تانية خالص. Okay. The speed of the car C. Car C distance and time. Okay, it's speed. طب الكار C دي equal قد إيه السبيد بتاعتها؟ نشوف. Here I have to calculate it. ليه؟ لأن each point, each time the car covering a certain distance مختلفة. So I'm going to choose one of them, and from the distance, let's choose 20. Divided by the time which is taken here, which is 4. 20 divided 4 equal 5, and if I repeated 10 divided 2 equal 5, 15 divided 3 equal 5, because the body here is moving with constant or regular speed. So the answer, of course, is 5 kilometers per hour. Okay? Next. Here, this another question, second question on the same graph. He said to me the relative speed of the car A. أنا عرفت إن relative speed of the car A. Let's move كده ونشوفها كانت كام. relative speed of the car A كانت 20. Okay, and the car C is 5, because we're going to see here the question. The relative speed of the car A 20, and the observer in the car C is كانت السبيد بتاعته 5 from the previous answer. Both car A and C moves in the same direction. بيقول لي لو two cars دول A and B are moving in the same direction, and he wants from me to calculate the relative speed. I said my keyword is the same direction. What I'm going to do, subtract 20 minus 5, so the answer is 15. Let's see the answer. Okay, it's 15. 20 minus 5, because they are moving in the same direction. طب what about both cars A and C also, but they are moving in the opposite direction. نفس calculations, but we are moving واحدة عكس التانية. What I'm going to see, أو to write, the opposite direction addition, 20 plus 5, so the answer is 25. Let's see the answer here. So the answer is 20 plus 5 equal 25. It's very, very, very important problem, because it's sum up all the type of speed in one problem. Next one. From the following figure, answer the question. It's very easy. Look here. He wants from me to determine the intervals during which the body moves at uniform speed. I said before, we learn how can we analyze the graph. بنشوف دلوقتي أي graph you can analyze it. Here, car moving from A to B to C. He wants from me to determine the interval during A to B. البادي هنا ماشي بأنهي move at uniform speed. فأنهي part the body move with uniform speed. A, B. Of course, A, B. طيب السؤال التاني بيقول لي in which time interval the body is at rest, not moving. وقف. إمتى؟ Sure. B to C. So the answer is B to C. Next question. A body moves in a circular path, as you see here, and moving from A to B to C to D, and then you have to pay attention, returning back to the starting point A. مهمة جدا 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 to know why I said here. أشوف ليه. They return back to the point A. If the if the circumference, you know the circumference from the math, اللي هي الحسبة بتاعت diameter بتاع السيركل دي كلها. circumference of the path is 300 meter. And the body covers the distance A, B, C in 10 seconds. قطع المسافة دي في 10 seconds. And then covered the other part from C to D to A returning back in 20 seconds. هيطلب مني شوية أسئلة في البروبلم دي نشوف. Calculate. Number 1 بيقول لي calculate. The total distance moved by the body. هو البادي عمل إيه؟ A to B to C to D and returning back to D to A. So the total distance covered by the body is of course هي circumference which is 300 meter اللي هي path, circular path that the body moved. طب the second question. The average speed of the body. I said the word average means عندي total distance and total time. كذا distance البادي مشيها during كذا time. طيب الديستنس الأولانية اللي قطعها هو البادي مشي قد إيه؟ مشي 300 لفة واحدة 300. So 300. طب التايم اللي مشي قد إيه؟ مشي هنا 10 seconds في التايم الأولانية 10 seconds and التايم الثاني كان 20 seconds. So I'm going to take the total distance over the total time so I can get the average speed. As you see here, average speed equal total distance over total time 300 over 20 plus 10 which is the total time. So the answer is 10 meter per second. Next question. I know that you know this next question is what? Next question here is, what is the displacement? At the beginning, I said you have to know that the body returned back to the starting point. لف ورجع في مكانه. So, he changed position? No. رجع من A ووصل تاني ل A. So, the displacement in this case is 0. I know that you know it. The displacement here is 0. Now I'm going to ask another question. What about the velocity here? If the displacement is 0, so of course the velocity is 0 because the velocity is displacement over time. 0 over anything is the answer is actually is 0. Next. Now we reach the last part, fill problems. Let's go and see another part of questions. Let's move to what's meant by or give reason for. Give reasons for. Here we have a very important give reasons for which you have to know it very well. The first one, the motion of a train or the metro can be considered as a motion in one direction. I mentioned before when we discussing this part in the first episodes that the train is moving in motion بتاعته in one direction. ليه؟ عشان المترو بيموف forward and backward only. ما ينفعش الموفمنت بتاع المترو له تراك بيمشي فيه. So the answer, because the train moves backwards and forwards in a straight line or curved path or combination of both. ما بنلاقيهوش بيتحرك غير الحركات دي بالظبط. So بنقول المترو moving in one direction. Next, cars and planes are provided with speedometer أو speedometer. ليه الكارز عندنا عربيات والplanes فيها السبيدوميتر؟ Of course, why? To helps you to identify your speed وانت ماشي تقدر تقرا السبيد بتاعتك أسرع أبطأ أنا ماشي كويس في رادار whatever. So the speedometer helps us to identify the speed of the cars and the speed of the planes directly. Give reason for. The physicists or the mathematicals, الناس اللي بتشتغل في الفيزيكس or الماثيماتكس are using relation as we did before. على البورد كان كل الكويستشنز بتاعتنا عبارة عن relations. Why؟ ليه الماثيماتيكالز relation بالجرافس؟ ليه؟ عشان very important three things. ايه أول حاجة؟ In order to predict the relation. لما يشوف في relation between distance and time, of course it's speed. Between speed and time, yes, it's acceleration, of course. So you predict the relation between the certain physical quantities. طب بعد ما بعمل prediction زي ما عملنا البروبلمز اللي فاتت I understand relation، اقدر اعمل practical revision او practical results ليا وابتدي اطلع بنتيجه. So the second point is to understand the practical results. Third، أنا عملت prediction و understanding and I can describe the physical quantity اللي قدامي دي عبارة عن إيه؟ speed, acceleration, uniform, regular, whatever. I can describe it very well, which is very important question. A car covers 50 meters in 5 seconds is faster than the car which cover 64 meter in 8 seconds. ده بيتحايل عليا، مديني problem على شكل give reason. No problem. I'm going to solve it واقول له ليه. بيقول لي ليه الكار دي faster than دي. So I'm going to calculate the speed of the car A and the speed of the car B عشان اقدر اجاوب السؤال كويس جدا. هقول له because the speed of the car A equal 50 over 5 which is the distance over time. يبقى ال speed here is 10 meter per second. While the second car is 64 divided 8 which is the time, so is the speed is 8. So actually the first car is moving with a speed more than the other one. Let's move to another type of question, which is let's go and see what's meant by. What's meant by the average speed of a moving car is 50 kilometer per hour. Don't panic لما يجي لك question فيه ارقام. Don't panic، انت هتحله على شكل what's meant by كأنه definition. How؟ هقول له it means that the total distance here بيقول لي average وانا عارفه definition of the average speed total distance over total time. So put the definition and put the number, easy. So the total distance covered by the car in an hour is 50 kilometer per hour, which is a number which is written in front of me. في البروبلم هاخده او في الكويستشن هاخده واحطه تاني. Sometimes you are going to define it without mentioning the number فبناخد نص المارك بتاعت الكويستشن. An object covered 40 meter northwards direction in 20 seconds. Here كلمة northward direction دي it's very important for me عشان دي بتخليني أحدد الانسر بتاعتي. So هقول له ال average velocity. Why I said velocity? Because he mentioned to me direction. طالما في direction يبقى ما أقولش speed. يبقى ال average velocity of the body or the object is 40 which is the displacement في الحالة دي divided 20 which is the time, so 2 meter per second. يعني ده 2 in 1 question. Problem in the shape of what meant by. هو بيقيس بيها ايه؟ بيقيس بيها 2 concepts. أنا مدرك كويس جدا لكلمة northward direction إن أنا أقول average velocity أو velocity ما اتكلمش على speed دي number 1. Number 2 I can know إن أنا أحل البروبلم inside the what's meant by, so it's very easy now to solve it very easy. A moving car covers a distance of 200 kilometer in 2 hours. يعني أنا ماشية بسرعة 200 kilometer in 2 hours. معناها إيه؟ يبقى it means that the speed of the car equal هاخد ال 200 kilometer divided ال 2 hours يبقى أنا ماشية بسرعة 100 kilometer per hour. I have to solve it and then put the number. What's meant by a body moves at acceleration equal -3 meter per second square. يعني إيه الكلام ده؟ معناها it means that the body moves at negative acceleration. يعني I use الماينس دي إن أنا عبرت عنها في الديفينيشن بمعناها إن هي I'm moving with negative acceleration. قد إيه؟ by changing speed بتاعتي قد إيه؟ by changing my speed 3 meter per second أو by decreasing my speed with 3 meter per second. The displacement of an object, برضو what's meant by the displacement of an object is 50 meter in east direction. What's meant by displacement? هقول له definition of displacement. It means that the distance covered in the east direction, I have to mention direction here, وهو مديهولي is direction from starting point or initial point to ending point أو ending position is 50 meter. What's meant by The force is a vector physical quantity. طبعا أي حاجة يقول لي vector مش force. Force, acceleration, velocity, أي حاجة is a vector. I'm going to write its definition. Definition بتاعي because it has magnitude and direction. Another type of question which is complete. What is the rate of change of distance while what is the rate of change of displacement؟ طبعا عندي هنا change في distance و change في displacement. change in distance يبقى ايه؟ يبقى speed. طب while change in this is the speed. while what is the rate of change in displacement؟ displacement is the velocity. Next one. The two factors that necessary for describing the motion. Motion أنا ما عاوز أوصف الموشن are what are the distance covered by the moving body and what is needed to cover is the time. Here ده آخر جزء وصلنا last part في revision of today. Next time إن شاء الله be ready for revision of unit 2. Study well and be ready with a piece of paper and to write the questions that I'm going to say to you, especially unit 2 in, related to the mirrors and lenses, and we have cases and drawing. So be ready, study hard, and let's see you next time, and goodbye.